Hey there, Neil Smith, the Dandy DJ here, and I'm just getting ready to load my van for a wedding. All my stuff is all like a big explosion in here right now. Things on the chargers, lights on the chargers, ceremony system on the chargers. I've got to kind of rearrange what's on my carts. And I'm just getting my van ready to go here, and I figured I would do a video on how I load my van because I've never done one of those. Okay, so I've got the Town and Country. The reason I have the Town and Country is because it has stow and go seating. These middle seats right here, these guys can fold down into the floor, and I get flat cargo space from the front of the van all the way back. Now, I'm not going to need it today. Today, I leave these up. If I was doing a photo booth, I would put these down so I'd have more room for all the photo booth stuff. But today, I'm just doing DJ at the wedding. So I'm going to leave these up. And the reason I leave these up is because when I load my rock and roller carts in here, they come right up here and it really locks them in good. It's just the perfect length. So for that, I've discovered I just put them there, and then I can just lay a few things right across the top here that I need and down here, and it works real well. But let's start here. I've already put the back seat down. I don't really need to show you a tutorial on that. And to protect the inside of my van, because I like to go between passenger and cargo, because that's what the Town and Country is great for, I've got just an old moving blanket down there, and then I got a second old throwaway blanket for the top of it right there. And I've got it there and secured with one of the floor mats up there. So double here for protection. Now I'm going to show you how I tuck it. It's a little tough to do one-handed, but you leave it hanging out like this. This is a trick I've learned from trial and error. And what you do, you want to tuck it. You want to leave that strap to where you can get it, and then take this stuff and tuck it down under, because if you don't, these will go down too far and it'll cause you issues when you go to get it out. You'll have to lift up a lot more. So you want to put some blanket underneath there so that you have some lift on that back seat there, that underneath. And I'll go ahead and do it, and then I'll show you. Okay, so I'm all tucked in here. Got the excess underneath to give some lift here. And then I've got these straps exposed so that if I need to, I just grab them right there. I'm good to go. I don't have to do any crazy digging. And now we are ready to go ahead and put our ramps on here. I've done a video on these. These are the ATV ramps right here, where I've flipped the little blade around backwards. I'll go ahead and grab that and put them on there, and I'll show you what I'm working with. Okay, so now we've got our ramps in place, and the reason we tucked the blankets underneath to give it some lift is so that it would lift the backs of these seats a bit, so these blades will hit on the back of the seat and not move with the cart. So when I push the cart up in there, these things aren't going anywhere, and these blankets protect the seat. So if they weren't butted up against the backs of these seats, then the ramps could go moving into the van along with the cart, and that's no good, because then you've got to try and fish a ramp out from underneath the cart, and it just messes everything up. So that's why we did that and why we gave it that lift. Now I like to start on the left side, and I really don't remember why it's important. I remember it's important, but I've been doing this for so long that I don't remember why that's important. Maybe by the end of this video, it'll come back to me and I'll be able to share that knowledge with you, but there we go. But I'm doing a barn wedding today. There's a little debris on my blankets. I'm not worried about that, because I think there's going to be worse in here by the time this shindig gets done. All right, so we'll load these carts for you, and I'll show you what's up. So you'll notice I've got the ramps ever so slightly pointed kind of in towards the wall of the van, and that's for a reason. That's so that when I push my cart up, it'll ride along that wall, because I want it to be all the way over there, because once I'm going to have two carts side by side, and I'm going to want to have room between them to there's not going to be much room, but I want just enough so where I can put these ramps away, because they come with me. Right? Now, I've tried this all kinds of ways. Tried running starts, you name it, to make it easier. and I find that the running start gives me more chance of not hitting it right with one of the wheels and, you know, things going wrong. So I found the best way to do this is just to get behind this from a dead start and just put my wheels right there and go for it. Now you don't want to have anything above. This is the Rock and Roller R8 cart, and I've found that it's important to not have anything above the handles because they just clear. Matter of fact, these little handles hit the top, but because they're, you know, like that, they will give enough. I need to kind of straighten that up a little bit, don't I? But oh, these little folding tables are great too. I think these little folding tables, and those are great for setting stuff on when you're setting up. And then the covers to my JBL Eon 1s, when they come off there, they just slip right over the top of those little tables if I want to have them back behind my table for things like food and drinks, or to just kind of help keep people from running behind my DJ table while I'm working. Those things are very handy. But anyway, let's see. That thing, I kind of need to reposition it because that's where all my electrical cables are. It's like, there we go. There we go. Are we all set here? I think we might be. And maybe straighten that up a little bit more. There we go. There we go. These are my laptops in here in a little padded suitcase. I think we're ready to go. Can I do this without, can I just put my weight behind it. I'm just going to put my gut right up against there, lean into it, and work my legs all the way up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to straddle this ramp right here, one leg on this side, and then one leg in the middle as I go up, as I'm pushing this thing. And I'm going to, like, just like a football drill, although I didn't last very long in football. I think I got hurt once, realized that football was painless, and I decided I didn't want to have pain, and I wanted a different life for myself. So anyway, here I go. I'm going to put my gut right against there, push, and just start working it. Might be a little tough on camera. On up and in. And when it gets to this point, watch these little wheels right here. They'll drop right down in. Boom. We are locked in, and that's up against those chairs up there. See how this whole thing slips down, and the seat is no longer, you know, these are no longer hitting the back of the seat. And well, it didn't quite ride the wall like I wanted, so I'm just going to get in here and just do one of these numbers. There, now we're locked up against the wall. Good to go. Ready to move these ramps over and get our second cart in. I probably don't need to show you that one. And I remembered why you load the left side first, because it's got the 2/3 seat and the 1/3 seat, and you can see how that one's a lot skinnier there propped up. See, if you went on the right side first, the seat would drop down. And the reason that's what would happen is that would drop down, and you've got the other wheels on the larger seat, and that would drop down too. So when you come over to this side, you wouldn't have the seat wouldn't be able to come up, and you wouldn't have anything to butt the ramp up against. I hope that made sense. So for that reason, if you have one of these, you start on the left side first, then right side when loading. So as you can see, my second cart is ready to go in. Magnets on the van. And today's wedding, they have told me that both ceremony and reception are both in the same room in the barn. And well, if you've been in this business as long as I have, you know that you don't believe what anybody tells you as far as you can throw them. So with the ceremony and reception supposedly being in the same room, and after the ceremony, I'm going to do the ceremony, and then we're going to flip the room for reception. I should only need one setup, right? You would think, right? But I don't trust anybody. And if you've done this, you've been burned before. You show up, and they'll say, oh, it's such a lovely day. We just figured we'd move it outside and then have the reception inside. Well, you told me there was only one setup, and you know what? after a while, you get tired of having that argument, and it happens so much that you just charge what you need to charge to do 2 and come loaded for bear. And if you don't have to do 2, you can count it as a blessing. So my ceremony system is in there. And, you know, I've got the things that I shouldn't need to grab, but it's always possible, like a pop-up sunshade, packing all that stuff just in case I've been lied to, which I get lied to a lot, and I'm sure you do too. Anyway, that's just a side note. Anyway, we're ready to load our second cart into this van, and here we go. Come along for the ride. And here we go. And as you can see, right in those channels and those tracks. Whoops. I better pay attention to what I'm doing here. And we are in. Okay, we want that all the way to the wall, and we got that gap right there. That's so that we can store our ramps. So over here, check the front. Pretty good. I want to pull it over as far as I can. There we go, and we are set. And we're just going to throw these ramps in. And I found that you don't want to put the blade end in first because it's curved and, you know, it's at an angle and it's going to catch on stuff. So you want to grab the ramp, turn it around, and put the non-angled end in first. And you see between those two seats, got stuff piled on top. Makes a little hole right there. So got stuff piled on top of the seats, extra stuff, and then you just kind of slide that right in there. It does a nice job. Now for number 2. Turn around. I know I'm taking. Yeah, make sure you watch this on an empty stomach. Another one, you kind of use the first one as a little guide slide. And we are in and ready to close this door. Hit a little door close button, and the dandy van is set and ready and loaded for bear. There's a couple things I'll grab off the top here and bring, but you know, all the stuff that just in case I need, but hopefully I won't, backup gear, emergency gear, things like that are all towards the bottom where I'll get them if I have to, but you know, like that tabletop for an extra table if needed, which hopefully we won't need, but we got it if we need it. Anyway, that is how I load my van. Thank you for coming along on this journey with me. I am Neil Smith of Dandy DJ and Photo Booth, serving a 5-hour radius of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which is in the geographical heart of the state. Stay dandy. I'm gonna go jump in the tub.